Listener discretion is advised. Possibly offensive conversations.
Children are generally, around our experience, okay? Now, my experience, are generally safer around most of us than they are the general public.
And see, that I
Because most of
get
us
that. Yeah.
are good fathers just trying to provide a living for our families. And there are some. I'm not going to say there's not, but there are some bad apples in the bunch. There usually is. But in all of my years, there's only been one person that was claimed to have done anything, and that was a Sizzler operator many, many years ago that slammed the bar shut, and the bar went past, which if you've ever ran the Sizzler, you know it's capable of it. If you go too hard, it will bypass the locking mechanism. And he slammed it too hard and ended up hitting a young lady in the chest. Touched her on her tatas. Well, he went to jail for that. So he says that he did it on purpose. He says it was an accident. Vice versa. Who's to say he's right? Who's to say he's wrong? Well, in 2007, Carni operators going to jail regardless for touching a minor. Plus, apparently there were other things going on that I'm not 100% aware about, but he did. He ended up going to jail. But I can tell you, my children grew up out on the show that me and operated and ran.
And see, I completely understand that. I know that, but my wife isn't concerned about you guys. She's concerned about the people around.
That's what I'm getting at. My children grew up out there on that show. So did Danny's former stepdaughter.
She's not talking about the Carni. She's talking about the...
No, listen to me.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get at. There is not a single place on that entire midway where that child did not have a worker's eyes on it. There is not a single place on that midway that was safe for anyone to jack with a child without having somebody step up for that child.
Well, and I guess my wife will have to see it first. And that's the way she is. She wants to see if it's safe before she commits to, anything with our kids.
I understand that, but, I mean, by the time we get everything up and running, hopefully this show picks up enough that we might be able to acquire everything and do what we need to do. But it ain't cheap to open a carnival. It ain't cheap to operate a carnival.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the cheapest ride that I'm looking at right now, I think, was $75,000. It's a 2-trailer ride, which means I need at least 2 semis to pull it at one time, or I have to drive the truck twice just to bring the one ride. But that one ride is 5-person set up minimum. You cannot do it by yourself. You have to have 5 people.
What are you looking at? The Sizzler, the
Sizzler, Winston, or I could do it by ourselves.
Okay, so what are you looking at?
Greg would do it, and I would
Century
do it
wheel?
by ourselves.
The Century wheel would require 4 people to set up. Well, me and Winston have done it by ourselves with 2, but 4 to 5 people make it a whole lot easier. But you really need at least a minimum of 3 freaking people on the Century wheel. But no, what I'm looking at and what I would like to acquire is a Flying Bob, also known as a music fest, also known as a Big Kahuna, a Himalayan Bob. It's a huge ride, tons of capacity, but it's a big ride. It makes a carousel look small.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, got it.
I would love to acquire that. It would be a great ride, because you can easily book in with other shows. That'd be a great first starter.
Mhm.
But you need 2 semis. So, okay, we're looking at $75,000 to get 2 decent semis that are going to get you by for quite a while, because you don't know how long it's going to take for you to get all that. You're talking $25,000 to $30,000 a piece, unless you can get a hell of a deal on an auction, right? So now you're looking at an additional $60,000 to run these. Now, that's not to mention the fact that you're going to have to hire crew, and you're going to have to have a place for the crew to sleep, which means you need a minimum of a 5-person. Well, let's say me and Winston's fat asses actually get out there and help and do it, which we probably would, but that's still going to require 3 people. You're going to have a room for 3 people plus, or rooms for 3 people plus our living quarters. So you might as well get a bunk room that's set up for 5 people.
Right.
That requires a pickup truck. Okay. So let's say that. Okay. So now that's going to require that. Now, if we get our food wagon off the ground as well to start off with, where we've got the ride and the food trailer going. That way, we're double hitting the money industry. We're hitting it on the food side. We're hitting it on the ride side. Okay, that means we need another food trailer. We need a food trailer. We need another pickup truck. Now we're going to have to hire more crew, because that's going to be 2 people in the food trailer minimum, plus 5 people to work the ride. But you don't need 5 people to work the ride. You need a minimum of 2 to work the ride. So you could have 2 in the food wagon, 2 working the ride. But they need to be able to tear the food trailer down and be able to tear the ride down in a timely manner. You can get spot help, green help, but, I mean, now we've got to have an extra vehicle. So that's 2 CDL trucks, 2 pickup trucks, minimum. Oh, wait, what about stock? Now we got to have a stock trailer. We've got to have a stock truck or stock trailer for stock. So if you get a stock truck, okay, cool, get a stock truck, hook the food wagon on the back of the stock truck. Okay, but to get a box truck, what, $30,000, $50,000?
This day and age, a little bit more.
To get a decent, well, I'm saying used, not the new, used, $30,000 to $50,000. Plus a $20,000 to $30,000 food trailer to a $75,000 ride. Now you also got to pay for maintenance on the ride. You got to pay for X-rays and stuff, because they're not going to let you just run it. You're going to have to do X-rays. You're going to have to do all these other little nitpicky, tasky, blah, blah, blah shit that you got to do. Oh, not to mention we got to have blocking. Yes, we do X-rays on tubs, and we do what's considered a crack check. It's a magnetic powder that you spray it, and you put a magnet across it. If there's cracks, it'll show you where the crack is below the paint that you have to have fixed, which costs money. So, I mean, just let's say it's $150,000 just to get this part of it started. 1 food trailer, 1 large ride, $150,000 minimum. Now, $150,000 should be able to pay itself off the first year. No problem. But you got to pay the employees that are working there. Plus, you got to pay yourself, and you got to pay your taxes. You got to pay your fuel. You got to pay your insurance. You got to pay your tax. You got to pay your spot fee. You got to pay your, 20% to most places to put a ride up.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah. So 20% to put a ride up, plus probably 20% of your profit for your food. So 20% of everything that you're grossing for that 1 week goes to the people you're set up with. So if you're only making, let's go with $20,000 for the week, okay? You got to give out $2,000 to the people that you're working with. That's only leaving you 18. Now, let's say you've got 5 employees and you're paying them And let's go with the salary of $600 a week. Well, there's $1,200. There's $2,400 for the week, and then the other $600. That's $3,000 right there. Poof, gone for the week. So $3,000 for 5 people to work for the week on a salary, and then you have your 20%. That's $2,000. There's $5,000 out of your $20,000 gone. That leaves you $15,000. Now you got to pay for truck insurance on 3 trucks. You got to pay for maintenance, tires, fuel cost, and we all know that fuel this day and age, $600, to fill a truck up, just to move it from one spot to the next, every spot, per truck. Probably be able to get it a little bit cheaper, depending on what kind of truck you get, fuel mileage, and depending on how many miles you're jumping. You might be able to get 3 jumps out of one fuel, depending on how big the jumps are in between spots.
Right.
But figure, let's just say $1,000 for fuel and unessential. Okay, so that leaves you down to $14,000, and that's on a $20,000 spot. Let's say that's a decent spot. Okay. That's $14,000. Now you got to pay him and me, of course. We're not doing it for free. We want our share. Plus, we got to put back into Carni Brothers so we can set back for the next equipment. Plus, not to mention stock costs coming out for the food wagon. I mean, you got to have food to go into food, right? So, I mean, just all in all, let's say we're down to $9,000 that actually gets to go back into the company on a $20,000 spot. Only $9,000 that goes back to the company. Everybody's still got to pay their taxes. Still got to pay your taxes on everything else. You still got to do all your accounting. You still got to do all that. And if you hire an accountant to do all that, well, there's another paycheck that's coming out. And everything has to have a receipt with a name on it and what it's for and what it was for, what unit it's for, plus what it was for.
Right.
That way you can keep it in the right file. Some of it we'll get back on taxes, some of it we won't. So all in all, figure out of one spot at a $20,000 spot, if it's a $20,000 spot. And that's saying it's a good spot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're only going to end up with probably $5,000 to $6,000 actually ending up in the company to go for the next.
Most spots are probably more than 20,000.
They could be, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just give a decent number. Not overcutting it, not undercutting it, but we're looking at being able to put $6,000 back into the company toward new vehicles, toward new lighting, toward more rides. Because you figure every ride that we buy, we're going to have to buy another vehicle, and we're going to have to hire somebody else to do it.
Right. I mean, so far, as long as everything works out, if you actually get up and running, my wife has given me permission. CDL, if I come over, I'd be driving that CDL truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's aware of that. So you already have it.
I don't want just you. I want your wife.
Right.
You're looking at if we could start the food wagon, the day we start the food wagon, we'd have to set about a 5 to 10 year goal, and we could probably have a carnival of it going.
My wife would not be a good CDL truck driver. Now,
I don't even want your wife driving my truck. Your wife Asian. She's trying to left now. Screw everybody else.
Exactly.
No. But I want her to be able to make food.
Oh, she makes a lot of food. Like, she's made homemade cheesecake recently, and it's the best freaking cheesecake I've ever had.
I'm talking about food that goes out the door quick, fast, and in a hurry. I need her in there making Asian food. I need rices and noodles and things like this.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Sell quick, fast, and in a hurry, but stuff that you can't really get at normal shows. We've already got our stuff, but I would love for her to be able to throw in a, you know, let's say you can go get egg rolls or shrimp fried rice or chicken fried rice or vegetable fried rice or
there's
whatever.
even this
just
stuff.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry, you know. I need it to be ready to go.
There's this other stuff that she makes that maybe she could prep the day before, throw it into the fridge, and have it all ready to go. Like, oh, somebody wants, what is it called? Samosa, which, by the way, it's basically, it's kind of like an egg roll, but it has pork, potatoes, and masala, which is a special kind of seasoning that actually makes it taste really good, and it also has onions. But it's in a kind of like the shape of a triangle, and you can eat it while you're walking away, you know.
And that's perfectly fine. That's great. I like the idea. I like the thing. Prepping it the day before? Probably not going to happen unless you stay late. Unless you have a kitchen staff.
Yeah, you could get it done.
Well,
might say a little later, but
my wife can prep this roughly 2 hours. She can make over 40.
And 40 doesn't even top 1 hour at a good show.
Yes,
well,
I know.
You would hope not, yeah.
So,
but
that's why I said
by
you're
herself.
Yes,
that's
why
by
I said
herself.
She's going to have a kitchen staff. She's going to have people that she can teach and people that she can listen to. Hence where we said make the kids work.
Mother-in-law.
Yes.
Make the kids work.
Put them in school when they need to be in school and make their butts work the rest of the time.
But this is, again, where I say
don't
that
pay
my
them
wife
because
is going
it's
to
child
want
labor, I
to see
think.
what a carnival looks like and how it operates before she's like, okay, yeah, my kids will be safe here.
Well, they're going to be with her the whole time working.
My daughter will be like, oh, we're at a carnival. I want to go play.
After the newness wears off, it wears off quick.
Yeah.
You know, we used to have a saying, people lose their brain when they see the flashing lights.
You know, you get all kinds of, I want a funnel cake, that shit wears off pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many funnel cakes I had in 4 years? Like 3, maybe, at most.
I used to love funnel cakes. I used to love them. I'd get one every time I went. Every time I went to a carnival, I'd get one. After working for the carnival, when we got funnel cakes in, yeah, I got one. Then it would be like I'd get one a year. It's like, you know how bad I hate hot dogs?
I don't hate hot dogs, but
I cannot stomach hot dogs for the longest time. I could not eat hot dogs. Off season, my ex-wife was like, "Hey, can we have chili dogs tonight?" Fuck no. What the hell are you thinking? I don't want no goddamn chili dog. Like, fuck, I'd rather have hamburger helper than a fucking chili dog. You know, like we'd go out to the lake and barbecue. You know, let's say we had a decent week where we could actually get to the lake. And we go out there in November, right after season. We try to get one last hurrah in, into season, whatever. You don't bring hot dogs to the camp out anymore. You bring steak and burgers because you can't stand them. Hot dogs. Like, I don't eat Polish sausages anymore. I don't eat hot dogs anymore because I've ate so many damn of them.
I don't eat hot dogs at all.
Yes, you do. Your wife likes to put them in your noodles or rice.
Speaking of, so I talked to my father more that you mentioned something about being willing to try the tent. He told me we would need a canvas tent, so the one from Lowe's would probably not work.
That is canvas, actually. That was canvas.
I didn't
What are you talking about? What about a tent?
Canvas tent. But he said
canvas.
he got one for 10 by 10. This is like 10 or 12 years ago, probably, but for like $500 or $600. So I'm sure it's a little more expensive now, but it wasn't a customized one either.
Well,
I never did go fucking find that website either. I need to do that.
Yeah. Well, we've thought about starting out and seeing how bad it would be to try to run our Carni Brothers food.
I don't think
it'll
be that bad. I mean, it'll be it'll be hot. I'm not saying it won't be completely miserable. I don't know. He said he did it in a tent with the net around it, and had a fan or two going just to kind of circulate the air, and it was just fine, is what he said.
Yeah, but they're a lot stronger men than we are. We are air conditioner babies.
We are AC babies for sure. But he also, when I was telling him about that, what you said with that enclosed tent, he said we could put, we could get ACs up in that bitch.
Probably.
Power and more money, but as long as it's a canvas type fucking thing, that's obviously fireproof and all that.
Yes, we can put air conditioning in them.
What are you talking about?
Outside. Running our Carni Brothers food out of a tent instead of a wagon just to get started. Something a little bit more cost effective.
Yeah, got it.
It would cost us probably $3,000 or $4,000 at most, depending on what the price of the tent would cost.
And the irony is, we just need a small trailer, $1,500. The tent, if the one that I was looking at is canvas, in fact, and I will relook here in 30 minutes, 35 minutes, or whatever, after I get to where I'm stopping to do my 30-minute break, I will relook again to make sure that it is a canvas tent, and then we can go from there. That way everything can be folded up, put inside the back of the trailer, and put on the back of a fifth wheel and be pulled where we can be in the fifth wheel for sleeping quarters with the trailer as a pull behind. I mean, it's not like I'm not licensed for it. I can pull doubles all day, every day.
You don't have to be licensed for that.
Say what?
I said you don't have to be licensed to do that.
You do,
maybe
because
commercially.
It would make my truck a commercial pickup, so therefore I would have to be commercially licensed.
Well, I can tell you that I assume I don't think you have to have a CDL to pull double trailers. Personally,
no,
for
you
personal
do.
Preference.
No, you don't.
I don't. I see it all the time.
Yeah, you do. For personal, you do not.
Yeah, commercial use we might have to.
But since you're using it for commercial, you do have to have the licensing for it, especially if I get a decent-sized fifth wheel.
And actually...
now, I don't know, my father's got or my grandfather got a CDL, but he pulls doubles before. And,
yeah, if you reach a certain length, in doubles, you actually do have to have a license for it.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. My grandfather's pulled triples, I believe. Matter of fact, if I'm thinking
that's actually illegal.
He pulled triples.
No, it's not.
As long as it's within a certain length, it's not. But
I doubt as long as it's within a certain length.
No, but
he used to have a photo on it. I think it had 2 or 3, and they were long. It was a boat, sailboat, something else, and I believe there was another thing on the back of one of the trailers.
Yes, but it's all personal use, therefore you can get away with it as long as the legal hookups. As long as they're all legal hookups. And that's where I say, you get a fifth wheel or a bumper pole, a decent-sized bumper pole, and you get like a little cargo trailer for the kitchenette, washing station, the tent, tables, all that stuff in the back of the cargo. You get you a nice little bumper pole Okay? Get you a nice bumper pole, and you can turn the pickup into a box truck for storage, for dry goods. Or even for the, say a freezer on one side and the other side's all dry goods. You do a cab over camper style where you build the box yourself. You can use dry goods storage up in the nose with a couple of refrigerator reefer unit things on the floor, where you can still walk in between them and get through them. Where you have all three in one combination, because my business partner, has a gay car.
Yeah. I can carry probably around 2,000 pounds.
Yeah,
on
the
a
tent
trailer.
and the cooking stuff will be more than that.
Your Jeep
I mean,
can
I
only
can carry
do
stock.
2,000?
You know what? It can only haul about 2,000. The little gay Jeep I have, yes. That's what they told me.
Yes,
ouch.
At about 2,000.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So I could carry like stock, paper, and chips and shit like that.
However, with that being said, if I keep finding a decent deal on another pickup truck, and my co-driver actually set some money back for it, he could have a pickup truck of his own that'll actually be able to haul.
Yeah. I want a pickup.
I mean, I've been throwing pickups at you left and right for
if
$3,000 to $5,000.
If some
Chevy
dumbass
dude.
hadn't got a fucking Jeep. No, I'm none. I'd like a
pickup
Chevy.
guy.
I was.
He's a pickup guy. That's what he is.
I don't give
He
a
don't
fuck
care
about
what
the brand.
pickup, as long as it's a pickup.
I mean, I've seen some nice brand new Fords that are nice, but I just like the look of the Chevy pickups. The best, the brand new ones.
I like Ford I like Fords. Always have.
I don't really have a preference.
If Honda made some decent freaking trucks, I might have a Honda, because Honda's
If you buy a
really
Honda,
nicely.
I don't know you.
If you buy a Honda, even if they made a pickup, I would disown your ass in a heartbeat. I would never accept knowing you ever.
Make something that I don't know what you want to call it, but it's got a bed on it. Look up a Honda Ridgeline. I don't know what you want to call it, but it does have a bed.
That is, yes, I did look up those, and no, I did not like them. But my dad actually had a Honda, and they ran really, really good.
Yeah, well, no different than a Toyota. People love fucking Toyotas.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't mean I want one. They're too small.
I agree with that.
Tacoma's not bad. I don't mind.
Tacoma's no different than a friggin' half-ton. However, me personally, I want a bigger bed than what the Tacoma offers. I have my long bed. I like having that extra bed space for extra stuff. Let's just say that you do get a pickup, okay? We turn your pickup into the stock truck. We just put a cab over camper on the back of mine, or you could put a cab over camper on the back of yours. You have your bed, I have my bed, and we just hook the trucks right up to regular box trailers. One hauls the front, one hauls food product and refrigeration stuff. One hauls the tent and the cooking stuff. We both have separate living quarters, and you have stock. I have
the refrigerated stock. Whoever has the refrigerator.
I have all the kitchen supply. I have the kitchen, I have the tent, I have the tables, I have the air conditioners, I have the fans, I have all of that in mine, where you would have the dry stock and refrigerator and all, refrigerators and deep freezes in yours, if you had a truck, where we both could have a cab over camper on them. To start
I would have to get me a brand new truck myself, an actual heavy, well, not brand new, but a heavy duty truck.
Why would you have to get a brand new truck, sir? What are you
Because I would have to haul the food trailer for my wife, once we get started. And I would have to haul what we are living in, such as the camper. Therefore, that I would have to have at least probably a 1-ton. Most likely.
Yeah, except for you wouldn't own the truck and you wouldn't own the food trailer. You'd have to worry about your own house trailer. You'd have to worry about your own truck, but that would be company-owned food trailer. Company-owned box truck. Because by the time we get to that point, it'll have a storage truck. We would have a reefer truck with all frozen product and cooled product, and a box truck that has all paper products and dry products. Hopefully,
so I'd be dry.
Maybe even buying a second box truck to pull the other Carni Brothers food items, the Carni Brother other food items.
Okay.
With
now, here's
a refrigerated truck could be pulling, I don't know, maybe a Hampton or something.
But here's the thing. So I'd just be bringing my personal camper with my truck.
Yes.
My pickup truck, I mean.
Yeah. Whatever you and your wife and the kids are going to live in is what you'd need to bring. That would be your responsibility. Me and Winston's responsibility is, but as I said, this is to get us started.
Right.
Yeah, this attempt to get us going and get us the money to get something, wagon and
to get
stuff like
the wagon, to get the box trucks, to get the refrigerated truck, to get the extra wagon, to get the rides, to get the semis, to get the show.
Okay.
Dude, I don't think you're really comprehending the grasp here of how much this is.
I'm very well aware. A good show is roughly probably $1 million to $2 million
for one fucking ride, maybe two.
Yeah, the rides that Danny had, he probably had $3 or $4 million.
I can give you the prices if you would like.
I mean, the wheel alone was what, like $1 million or almost?
You said the big Kahuna is $75,000.
Used.
A
brand new Century wheel from Chance is when I was there in 2012 was $1.2 million.
Never mind. You're probably looking at more closer to frickin' $20 million frickin' dollars. Holy frickin' crap!
Now, as I said, that was new. That was new in 2012. Now, given inflation, given the little bit of price hikes that I do know of, educated rough guess for a brand new Century wheel from Chance Manufacturing out of Wichita, Kansas. Okay? $1.8 million for the Century wheel. Brand new. $1.8 million. Okay? Now, the freak out that Danny had bought right before retirement that Winston ran, that was 1.9 million euro.
Which is more in American dollars.
Yes. Which I said that was two. The Rockstar was $500,000. The Downdraft was $250,000. The Viper was $250,000. The Sizzler, I want to say, was right around the same price. The Sizzler and the Viper were about the same price. It was about $500,000 for the two of them. I said it was $250,000 for $250,000 for the Downdraft, $250,000. It might have been $500,000 for the Viper, for the Rockstar. It might have been $250,000, but that's just those. You buy the new, you buy a construction zone, you can't even get them new. You'll have to buy one used, but figure $150,000 to $200,000 probably. Maybe $50,000 if you're lucky. You might be able to get one. You could probably get a Spider used for $50,000 to $75,000. Not to mention all the repairs and all the rebuilds you're probably going to have to do to it because there's probably something wrong with it. went out of business. The brand new slide was $250,000 or $150,000 actually, I think, for the slide from Dartron. Now, if you buy, you could buy a few hand-me-down show items like Oscar and the whales, which ended up looking like fish instead of whales.
Mm-hmm.
We call it the fishy ride, Oscar and the fishies. We had like Nemo and Dory and whatever painted onto them. They look like ocean fish with an octopus.
Right. I know what you're talking about. We actually had that.
I think that you can't quote me on it, but I think that one sold for $20,000. But that was before the new paint job. That was just the old fiberglass, the old head. That was before the new paint job and all that was put into it.